just a podcast. We're not supposed to take it serious, Joe, right?
I can't tell if you're kidding or serious.
I know. That's the fun of it.
I feel like it's not supposed to be that serious. It's a fishing podcast.
That's right. That's right. Welcome back, everyone, to Spooled, the podcast from your favorite Northern Michigan fly shop, the Northern Angler. Hey, I nailed that. Awesome.
Crushed it. It's been a minute.
I'm your host tonight, Matt Hartman, joined by my good friend Joe King.
Hey, everybody.
And it's been a little while since we've done one of these together, actually. We actually tried to do this exact podcast, sort of, on the way home from a trip. We'll talk about that in a minute, but the audio was not up to our unbelievably high standards. I can't say it with a straight face.
Matt's a professional. And,
no, I'm just picky, and I don't know.
I mean, it was probably pretty rough audio.
It was just the road noise.
Yeah.
Kind of stung.
Yeah.
But
But
so then we went to Culver's. Yeah, it was great.
oh boy, did we ever! Yes, we did. Yes,
Back
we
in
did.
Michigan.
Oh yeah, as soon as we crossed the state boundary,
That's right.
we knew we were in Culverstown.
I can't believe summer is officially slipped away now, I think.
Yeah, I think yesterday was our last 80-degree plus day.
Yeah.
At least I kind of hope so. It's
Yeah.
weird.
I know it's been actually bugging a lot of people,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I didn't feel like it was all that warm, but
I don't mind if it went on for another week or two. I'd probably be like, all right, I'm ready.
It's time.
I'm ready for flannel
time.
season.
I love flannel and fleece
This
season.
is my favorite time of year. My dad calls it sweatshirt and shorts weather.
I can see
That's my favorite time of year.
him saying that for sure.
And it really is great.
And today did feel like the beginning of October with that drizzly, rainy, cloudy morning. I was like,
Yep.
oh yeah, I could sit down and tie some flies in this weather. And then the sun came back out
Beautiful
and it
day.
got nice.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful, beautiful day.
what are you going to do? You can't win them all.
Hey, just
but
gotta
I
take 'em as they
like
come.
I like the fall because you get the best of both worlds a little bit sometimes up here.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Officially campfire season.
I know.
Sun setting low early.
really early. It's like setting like now.
I know. I was shocked. I tried to fit in a little fishing yesterday, like we talked about, for the end of a lot of the trout water, and it was 7:50. I got back to the truck, and it was dark.
Yep, I know. That's all the fun after work is gonna go quick,
I know,
but that's okay. We'll figure it out.
here we are to reminisce about the season that has been.
Yes, I know. 2024 summer went fast.
It was weird.
You had a busy summer.
I did. I was not at the shop, so for those of you that have been used to seeing me in the shop the last couple summers, I was here for not that many days.
Don't do the math.
Don't do the math. It was not very many.
Not many.
It was a shameful amount of work this summer.
That's okay. You had an unshameful amount of travel and fun.
It was great. It was.
By the way, I should just probably tell everyone this episode, we're just going to, talk about some of the fun things we did this summer, but one trip in particular that I mentioned. And so we're going to talk about carp fishing.
Yeah.
It's going to get weird.
It was
and
weird.
Awesome.
Very fun. It was very fun.
So, yeah, you had a bunch of trips.
Yeah.
How many? Was it just one country outside the U.S. you went to?
Yep.
Okay. But you had a bunch of out west trips. You had
It
some
was
other
great.
stuff.
It was.
I did too. I had no
we both were
complaints.
on the road a lot. It was the best summer I've had for a long, long time, if not ever.
Yeah.
We did carp camp, and then came home for a couple weeks, and then wife and I took our honeymoon to Portugal for 2 weeks, and then came home for 2 days. Did Colorado for 4 or 5 days. Visited a very close friend of mine, Charlie, and his wife Stephanie, out in Colorado. And then came home for a couple weeks, and what else I did?
I don't know.
Tried to go to the UP. That didn't work.
We had enough that we can't
Camped.
remember them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Got back to Pigeon River for the first time in a long time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because
That
you
was
tried
fun.
to go a little bit further east.
Yep. Didn't work.
Didn't work. I spent a day there. That was fun.
Yeah.
Not gonna-
Rub it in. Yeah.
yeah.
That's fine.
It was fun. The drive was, it was a long drive.
Yeah. It's not a very interesting drive.
That's a great way to
It's a pretty uninteresting drive.
It was extremely I felt bad. I wasn't driving. I was trying to stay awake.
I
but
feel like if you're going to drive more than 2 hours, some scenery would be nice.
come on, Michigan, chop chop.
Yeah. Well,
Well, let's just jump into carp camp, which I thought we were going to miss. We got very lucky. So we do this fundraiser every year, warm water tournament, the Cheese Cup, and a buddy of ours, one of the Midwest reps, Phil Cook, was putting this kind of unique event together. He kind of figured out where all the cicadas were going to be emerging. What was this year? What was the emergence? It wasn't Brood X. It was like Cicadapocalypse or something.
Yeah, it was like
I don't think that was the technical term.
It was like 13 and like 11 were maybe going to overlap in one area, but yeah, I remember sitting at school on my prep and Phil called me. I was like, Phil doesn't usually call me.
Yeah.
What's up?
Out of the blue.
I picked it up. He's like, can you get down here? I'm like, absolutely I can.
Yep.
Give me 2 hours but put me down for it.
Yeah. Is it weird? Does it involve a fly rod? I'm there. That sounds
and I get to fish with my friends and meet a bunch of new people. Yeah. Learn a thing or two. Absolutely.
So Phil kind of put this cool kind of ragtag group of folks there from some other brands, from some other shops. And he kind of just figured out where the cicadas were going to overlap, or the highest chance of overlap was with access to fishing. Right. So we ended up, I don't think I'm going to burn any spots here, but we were in Illinois. Shh. Be quiet, man. Oh my gosh, the dad jokes. They're so good. So I don't even remember how far the drive was. But
it was 7.
Was it 7?
It was 7.
Gosh.
Yeah,
it went quick though. We talked the whole time.
Murdered a jar of Kirkland.
Oh, that's right. That wasn't a jar. It was a barrel.
Oh, it was a Costco.
Like,
yeah,
it's if you're just listening, I'm holding my hand up to how tall this thing was on the table, and it's quite tall.
And if you wondered if Matt or I have any self-discipline with snacks, nope. Because if one of us caved, snacks. We both.
it's accountability partners out the window.
You taking a pawful? Yeah, I'm taking a pawful too. Let's do this.
So Phil had originally had a slot for us. It was actually the weekend of the Cheese Cup. Yeah. And so we thought we were going to miss it, and we were kind of bummed. And, the Cheese Cup is always a riot. It's always great. You should check it out. But it just so happened to work out. Did we leave Monday after or Sunday? No, it had to have been Monday.
Oh, I think it was,
because the Monday. Cheese Cup's always Saturday. Yep. And then we just kind of hooked everything up and just rolled right on out of town. And we took a lot of stuff that we didn't use.
A lot of stuff. Yep. A lot of stuff we didn't need.
But there was a house that got rented, so there was plenty of room. There was like a bunk room and a giant garage. Oh my gosh. It's like pool and ping pong and fire pit. It was great.
We didn't really do any pool or ping pong, but it was just so fun.
No, we were just so tired at the end of the day.
Sit around the table, eat dinner, and then go down to the campfire and enjoy the libations and hear everybody's stories. And it was a good time.
I think one of my favorite parts was rolling into, so a little preface here that Russ Madden had been down there with Brooke a few days before and kind of gave us a brief kind of, not a warning. What would you call it? I don't know.
Oh, it was 100% a warning. It was 100% a warning. Yep. It was
a little different from Traverse, to be fair.
Yeah. And it's a town with some large like chemical food processing stuff going on. And
do a lot of corn. Big into corn.
Russ, his ability to describe smells accurately was uncanny. Let's be honest.
It's so funny.
It was unbelievable. He hit it right on. Nailed it. Yeah.
What would you remember what it was? It was,
I remember the way I described it was like dog food plus corn syrup plus really, really bad chicken nuggets.
Yeah, like the old fry oil smell.
Yeah.
Yep. But hats off to Russ. He called us as we were leaving Joe's house, or as I was rolling up to Joe's house. He called me. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then I love this. He did the math on exactly how long it would take us to drive down to this location. And he nailed the timing. He called us 10 miles, 11 miles out of town. And he didn't want anything. He just wanted to be on the phone with us as we rolled into town so that he could experience us experiencing this city.
Oh, yeah. You just wait for it.
Oh, just wait. You'll see this lit up giant temple of corn. So
was your corn lit up? If not, the gods aren't happy.
Have you rolled the windows down yet? You'll get a good whiff here soon. I wonder what direction the wind's blowing.
And then I didn't smell it for like 3 days.
I didn't smell it. And then boom. It was like the end.
Because I think when we went in to town, we didn't drive on the causeway of dog food.
Yeah.
And then after fishing one day, we drove through it, and it was all lit up with all the steam going everywhere. You're like, oh my Lord, what is going on here?
He wasn't completely wrong.
He called every aspect of the trip. He's like, you're going to see this.
He described the watercolor.
By the end, you're going to see this. I'm like, no way.
No,
he was right about everything.
He was.
Yeah.
He was in Damas mode.
Total Damas
Russ
mode.
Damas, yeah.
So we stopped, got a bunch of food, made some food, just kind of hung out.
Oh yeah, we went.
Was on the
as
water.
soon as we went to the grocery store, we knew what. I think
that
the
was
deal
like 3 of the checklist items off. Yeah,
it was good. So the whole idea was to go chase carp, topwater, cicadas. I had plans to tie all these epic, unique, totally groundbreaking cicada flies.
Mm-hmm.
I even brought my stuff down with me because I was a little behind, and then I think I ended up tying a total of 0 flies for the entire trip, which is a bummer because that's one of the things I love before a trip is tying. It gets me excited and thinking about, how I'm going to use these flies and how I'm going to fish them and all that. And I didn't have time with the cheese cup stuff. I know you tied a few flies.
A few, yeah. I tied a few before, and then like in the morning with coffee, I'd pull it out and tie something just to mess around. I
felt silly for trying, especially considering the state of the kitchen table when we walked into this place, when it was covered in fly boxes and boxes of flies from MFC.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of flies.
Here you go, boys. Make a fly box.
Yeah.
Here's all the flies. So MFC hooked it up big time.
Oh,
beyond big time.
Yeah.
And just like, here you go. Go have a crazy, goofy adventure.
Phil and Cole were great hosts. They
huge. Yeah.
They were super, super kind to us. And it was great.
It was fun. So
I was very honored to be able to go because I'm like, I'm like on the outside of the industry, kind of like,
Joe, you're on the Spool podcast. I would say you're.
Did you hear that?
You are climbing
out there?
the ladder.
Yeah, right. No, it was cool to be able to go down and see that and do it. It was a lot of fun.
It's so much fun. I love, talking with people from other shops. The Schultz guys were down there. There were guys from Shy Fly down there. Yep. I think John and Andy were there. I think
got to fish with John.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Incredible caster. Great guy. Love being with that guy in a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then we got to meet the guys that own Echo.
Yep.
Which Jared and Jamie.
Yep.
Super down to earth dudes.
Yeah.
Best friends since high school, and they own
middle school.
Middle school.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Salty earth people just couldn't. Yeah.
They were a riot to fish with. I liked fishing with them. I got to fish with Jamie the first day.
Yep.
Jared came in, and then another Jared came in from Kling.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the magnets, those are sweet.
We're little like thermostat tape.
I know. I just got one.
Did you?
Yep.
Did you try it yet?
Yeah. It's sweet. It tells you it color codes everything. It's awesome. Cool. So they'll be in the shop here probably next week. And then
who else was there? Obviously Phil and Cole.
I feel terrible if we're forgetting. This is a few months later. No, I think we nailed it.
I think that's everybody.
I'm going to feel really bad.
3 guys from Schultz.
I wasn't even going to bring it up.
Echo.
Yeah,
Kling.
Nick, Sleddy, and Schultze were down there. Yep. That was sweet. Got to talk to them.
Super nice, yep.
And then witness a little bit of a battle between boat charging and Tesla charging.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing. It was a little bit like one of those Scooby-Doo episodes where you see like one person go in this door and then the other person comes out of the other door and then goes into the wrong door and then this person comes out, and it was I'm laughing at the situation, not anyone that was involved. But man, I'm pretty sure the boat and the Tesla got unplugged and replugged in like 4 times.
I would love to hear the dialogue. Like if you just had a camera at that outlet, just to hear what they were saying about. Yeah.
There's only so much electricity to charge stuff. So,
yeah. But it was fun. Like I don't remember the last time I slept on a bunk bed.
Yeah.
Although, dude, that thing was so low. I crushed my forehead 3 or 4 times.
Oh, I felt bad.
You forget.
I was up top. I was always afraid stepping up, though. I was going to kick you in the face.
No.
Like, I was terrified I was going to kick you in the face. So I was like,
it was great because every day we kind of played
so we had
roulette.
Right, and we had rivers and lakes to fish. And then, so first day I fished with Jamie, like I said, and Phil on the local lake there. And I had issues like spotting, understanding what really we were after. And thankfully Phil had been down there like 5 days already.
That guy's got a set of fish eyes.
So, oh my gosh, he can spot fish. Really impressive. So he was helping us out immensely, helping us spot fish. But you've got to be really accurate with the cast. You really had to put it within like a saucer. Maybe if you're lucky, you can get away with a dinner plate. But it was a pretty small, tight spot, and you needed to kind of whap it down. It needed to slap. If you remember from our last episode, slap is important. I learned this from Casey. So, but then you just had to be patient because I'll try and find a clip of this. It's like a Cheerio coming out of, because I mean, what's the visibility? Was like maybe 6 inches, maybe.
Yeah. On the clearest day, maybe a foot.
Really, really, really tough. So what we figured out was Phil was seeing you almost look at it with your peripheral vision and you see just a shadow moving, maybe.
Yeah.
You don't really see them. Once in a while we saw them tailing on the lake once in a while, but man, you're just trying to troll and move around structure, just trying to spot these fish because we couldn't catch squat blind casting. And then you hit this spot and you have to wait. And this slow motion Cheerio comes out. It's the O face, right? And and it's just like, try not to set it before they eat it. Oh my gosh,
man! To be a carp, it's got to be like that nightmare where you're like, or a dream where you really want something, but you're in slow motion, you're stuck, and that's just their living experience every day.
They're not in a hurry. It was wild.
Not at all.
Because you knew as soon as you saw an aggressive take, what I assumed at first was, I got a bass. Not a bass. Catfish.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. As soon as there was a splashy eat, Phil was like, oh, dang it, catfish. I was like, what? So we're catching catfish on topwater, on cicadas.
That's crazy.
In a lake where we can't see anything. And the looks we got from people, we come around the corner and people just stare and stare and stare. I'm like, are you guys fly fishing? Yeah, we don't really do that around here. I was like, I'm getting that. I'm getting that vibe. Yep. I mean, you guys should try it. It's a riot. But
it's super fun.
On the lake, we caught mostly common carp. Phil caught a mirror carp. He was super excited about it. He had been trying to get one all week.
Yeah.
That was great. And then I got tired after a while.
You said you guys got.
It was stupid. We had to have fed 50 fish.
Wow.
I can probably landed 30 or 40 fish.
That's crazy.
Stupid. It was stupid. It was. I needed to. I just sat and took pictures after a while. I was like, I'm good. This was a riot. And then Phil and Jamie had like a lightning round at the end where it was just every other cast. They were doubling up, and I was like, oh, wow. I feel like I should be back.
Yeah.
So where'd you fish the first day?
I only fish rivers. So there were 2 days on a smaller river, different sections. And then the last day of fishing, I was with Jared from Kling and Phil on a larger river.
Yeah.
And it was largely the same thing. The first day I fished with John from Shy Fly, and it was, we saw some fish eating mulberries.
That was cool. Yeah. I didn't get to see that.
And
that was cool.
Most of the fish that
you were spotting fish before you casted them.
When we could.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you were just kind of blind casting.
Mm-hmm.
But for sure, the the move was to sight fish them.
That's wild.
You get a couple fish coming up out of nowhere, blind casting, but it was best described as like you see the shadow of the top of their back just kind of shifting around a little bit.
Yep.
There was a couple times where when I was rowing, I would just stare way down because the water's so flat. Like
so flat.
Anything that breaks the surface, you can see. I remember there was a pod of like 3 of them 50, 60 yards down the straightaway. I was like, okay, well, there's 3 right there. And sure enough, they were in the same area. But they moved a lot.
Yeah.
So where you'd see them, you kind of had to judge pace and direction and take a guess. But it was pandemonium when they come up, and it's like a slow motion eat. You see it set, and then you just hook their souls out of their bodies. It was so fun. And then
they fight so hard.
Yeah.
So hard.
Super hard. But then the way to fight them, like Phil was pinning them.
I know.
And then, which was like, it worked.
I think we all were calling him Phil Dance by the end of the week. Where it was like watching a Bassmaster episode.
Phil Dance Day.
But it was cool. I mean, they had, Echo Crew was there. They brought a bunch of rods for us to play with, some stuff that's coming out soon too. And then we got to fish some of, I fished my favorite rod the whole weekend, but it was.
What'd you fish?
I fished the 8.4B.
Yeah. Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, why not? We talked about it now. Why not?
Okay. Just that there's new weight, right?
Yeah, they're expanding that line. So
which is great.
Went to 8 weights, and now they're going to, I think, 9s and 10s.
Wow.
Which is going to be nuts.
So light.
But it was so wild to see them. It's like watching someone who knew how to fight a tarpon versus me. They're just like, no, pin hard, like give them nothing. And we were roped up. I mean, the leaders were thick. Yeah. They were not leader shy.
I mean, even if they were, you can't see anything.
Yeah. So, I mean, these were big fish. I think we had some of the weigh nets with us, which was really cool. I'm trying to think mine was like a 16 or 17 pound carp, the big one I got. I was like, holy crap.
It was a lot.
On a 7 weight, that was 13. A lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
I fished a 6 weight for just a little bit.
Oh, man.
It was fun.
I bet.
But if you got anything a size, it was like, wait.
Yeah.
It was fun to switch between like Boost Blue, A4B.
Did you play with the glass?
That was I love the 8.4B, but the bag just has my heart, man.
You don't have to be bashful.
I would do a shootout.
To apologize.
When I was fishing with Jared and Phil, I kept going back and forth.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, Jared. Like, it was mostly me and Jared fishing because,
Phil's guiding us, essentially. Right. Yeah. Let's be honest.
And I was like, well, if you don't mind, I'm just going to stick with this rod the whole day because it was very quickly. I love those rods. And especially with we fished airflow lines with a lot of redfish lines. And that combo, the redfish line with the glass is just.
Yeah.
And you can hook set so freaking hard on those things with the glass. I mean, you can just
well, you kind of have to.
I mean, I don't know if I told you this, but I was downstairs doing something, and I overheard John be like, "Man, he was hook setting into their skulls all day long." Laughing about how hard I was ripping it. It was just so
it's fun. I mean,
they're invasive. They're big fish. They're fine. They're tiny little hooks.
Yeah. I mean, this is like a big hopper. It's not like we're out there with gaff hooks. It's, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Dude. And then that second day.
That's when we got to fish together.
Yeah.
Remember that log jam?
Yeah.
We get to this river and there's this little sign. It's, it's a nice sign. It says, warning, log jam. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. I've dragged over a tree or two in my time. Right. No big deal.
I've seen a jam in my day.
It was maybe the largest log jam I've ever seen in my life.
It was incredible.
It was laughable. I mean, and it was bad enough a farmer cut a path for us to drag the boats. Yeah. I mean, like, and kayakers and stuff. It was...
Didn't remove the barbed wire on the hill on the way down, but did mow a path.
It was like a city block around that thing. It was outrageous.
It was easily a football field on a big bend.
Yeah,
and it was like 20 feet high. It felt like
that water was really pretty though. It was like really emerald green and
still very turbid. You couldn't really see, but man, like those rivers, that area does not get a whole lot of credit, but the like washed out, exposed root
beautiful.
systems, it was
And
really
the canopy
pretty.
was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I just remember going down this complete canopy, sunlight filtered in.
Yeah, it was really, really
It was really
pretty.
cool.
Felt like you were kind of in the south,
Yes.
even though
Well, everything was so lush.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is cool. But you could see like the flood lines
oh yeah,
big time.
yeah,
So, and it was weird to catch like the grass carp.
Yeah.
You know, that you look at, you're like, is this an Asian carp? And they're like, oh no, it didn't jump and hit me in the head. So we're good there.
Yeah.
But it's,
yeah. But on the big section of the river, there were grass carp or Asian carp, and I did have a net out. I wanted to catch one. I failed, but and then we had this like weird storm. It was
that was wild too.
it was double rainbow with a thunderstorm going on. It was
And I was
nuts.
I think I was probably east of you. I don't even know. It was the most impressive sunset I've seen in so long.
Crazy
and you guys got
orange.
back and you were like, did you get like, yeah, everything was orange. It was like,
And it was like ball lightning.
Yeah, it was
like there
weird.
were some big, huge bolts, and then there was also just these like big purple orby looking things in the sky.
trippy.
Yeah, and then the sky was like orange.
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool.
It was cool. I just love that we got to see, because we have carp in the bay.
Right.
You know, we have that. We have that fishery that's fairly established. It's honestly, it's struggling. Like it's nothing like it used to be, which I feel like a broken record saying that kind of thing. But it was, for me, it was a lot of fun to see those fish in a completely different environment, fired up. And you know what I learned? Everything eats the cicada.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. There were birds just gobbling everywhere. It was wild. It was really great.
This was what, like
June.
June 12th ish?
Yeah.
And it was it was still going, but it was
We were on the tail end.
clearly on the tail end.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just, I mean, you get that much, life mass or whatever you call it, biomass.
Well, it's the HEX program, right?
Right,
That we have.
exactly.
So everything just dials into it. So
Definitely makes me want to fish those little black flies or big black flies in more situations, see what you can get to come up and eat them.
yeah.
Just really funky, weird style of fishing, which I love. And actually, you know what? The grass carp, if you got a clean one that was like kind of silvery, they weren't that bad looking.
No.
Like silver.
I don't
with
think
some
they were all
pink
that
hues.
ugly.
No, I mean, it's like weird that they're, recent transplants.
Yeah.
And, or another rivers and aquarium. But
Right.
there were some disgusting things that we saw down there. I saw a bunch of catfish eating like sewer overflow. That made me want to barf.
Yep.
Some shirtless gentlemen screaming on the riverbank at us.
Yep.
I swam in that river to cool off because it was like 90 degrees.
This is before he saw these things. I think.
I knowingly went in downstream, like
you seemed
way
very
downstream.
focused on getting a shower when you got home. Or back to the house. I remember that.
Yeah, because
So,
it's like I have a pretty high tolerance for gross water. The smaller stretches that we did, I was fine with. It didn't faze me at all.
I think almost all of us went for at least a sit in the water after that log jam.
Yeah.
We were just
That felt so
cooking.
good to crack a cold one and just be in the water.
Yeah.
I love a good summertime fish and swim. If you're not swimming when you're summertime fishing, you are messing up.
Yep. It's good for you.
Yeah, but I definitely wanted to shower that last day. It was gross.
I mean, rolling out of there, I think we both, I don't know. I just appreciate seeing totally unique, totally different fisheries that, especially like this isn't something that is probably not going to happen next year. Probably not just going to show up, consistent, and being able to figure stuff out like that, a special event is, I love that.
Really, really cool.
Love that. And to be able to fish with some really cool people.
Yeah. And to see
takes it to the next level.
See some tactics that you wouldn't use. Like I didn't know that, like when we were in the larger section of the river, we were, Phil had the trolling motor running, bow pointed upstream and just creeping upstream and sight fishing.
Yeah.
And that's not something that I would normally have thought to do. Normally we're running boats downstream.
Right.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. Makes me want to like kind of see what other funky stuff is out there, you know, kind of one-offs.
That's what I love about this sport is that you can still develop a totally new program. I mean, I've been seeing people out chasing drum.
Yeah.
In the Great Lakes. I've been seeing people do all these small little, and we have the lines, we have the rods, we have the tech for it now.
Freaking better.
But that's the gist of the sport for me that I love is the problem solving. And you know, I know tons of people like, well, if you're not going to be able to go out and get something consistently, what's the point? And I'm like, no. The point's to catch one. Because
you can do it.
You know, it's like Everest. Why? Because it's there.
Yeah.
It's I mean, we caught a gar. We spent so much time trying to catch a stinking gar on the last day. I mean, so what? But it was different. Gar. And like, I think the one we got was only, 24 or 25 inches long. But
you know my take on the gar situation.
I know. I'm aware. Joe doesn't look happy, everyone. I'm going to just describe his angst for those of you not watching this on YouTube, which you should, by the way.
Yeah.
You get the full effect. It's the shop after hours.
After hours.
Anything else you want to, we covered rods. Reels didn't really matter. They did go on some sweet runs, yes. I will say. But not like, none of us saw our backing. Just the short, like hard runs.
Yeah. I mean, you'd try to pin them, but if you got one that was decent, it was going to take
I fished the SA bass bug taper the whole weekend, which was sweet. So short, fat, easy turnover, which was great. And then we weren't fishing long leaders at all.
No, I mean, most of the casts were under 20 feet.
Yeah.
That I, on those rivers, or maybe not 20, but, nothing over 40, that's for sure.
No. We all tried later on when we got tired.
Oh, yeah. Once you get a couple, you just try to mess around.
Yeah.
The my favorite, well, not my favorite part, but one really cool part was seeing the pile of bent out hooks.
That was cool. We kind of had like this pile on the table that was just this, hey, throw them in, let's take a look and see how we did. But those MFC hooks, those things are held up stout.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. And I think they were using those Aberdeen streamer hooks that they make, which are definitely stronger than the Daiichi. Like, no question about it. They're sweet.
It was, because you'd hook into a sunfish, and you're like, all right, I'm probably not getting this one in. Because there were some big fish.
Yeah.
There was one in particular I remember hooking it and just went, okay, well, I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad I got it to eat. I'm glad I hooked it, but this ride's about to be over.
Yep.
And it was over pretty quick.
Yeah. It was
very, very, very fun.
It was just chaos when you hook one of those fish. It's so fun. It's just like, I have some pictures of you pointing the fish out to Jared fishing out of the back of the raft.
Oh, really?
And he made that cast, you remember? And then we lost it right at the net, but it was just water frothing.
We didn't lose it. I lost it at the net.
Hey, you weren't the one that was fighting the fish, but
whatever.
That's not important. But it was, I love that. It's just this chaos factor that you have to do everything right, and if not, so what?
Yeah, that's the style. Like it requires a little bit of skill. It's not a given, but you don't take it too serious. That's my favorite fishing.
I know. Yeah.
It's like people just take stuff too serious.
I agree.
Like we're out here trying to catch a fish. Like, relax. Let's have fun.
I tell a lot of our customers, like, if you get a fish to react positively, to come up, eat your fly, and you hook it, like, this is a positive thing. You've fooled that fish.
Right.
Stop beating yourself up that you didn't land it. So, like, you have to hook fish before you actually fight them, and learn to fight fish well. That's a whole nother skill set beyond just presenting a fly and fooling a fish. Learning to fight fish well is not easy, especially when it's a 15-pound pissed off carp with wood everywhere and you can't see the bottom, and it's I don't know. I love it. So then
we wrapped up camp, headed out. Sadly, I could have done that for another another several days.
I think Phil and Cole were a little tired.
Oh, man, because they were 2 weeks. Like,
It was like,
man,
yeah,
and they worked their tails off. Like, they were getting stuff ready, getting the boats ready,
were
getting the gear ready, planning
telling us
everything.
where to go. We didn't know where to go.
Yeah, it was just like they were so kind.
They were great hosts.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'd be there again in a heartbeat. So
Yep. And I was just very happy that we got to spend the time with the people that we did, because everybody was good people.
really good people.
Yeah.
So that's definitely worth getting out, doing something weird.
Totally.
Find one thing maybe a year, or and say, hey, let's go see if we can do this.
Yeah.
And just set low expectations, and like maybe it's a new pike spot, maybe it's you want to go catch a I don't know.
Drum thing seems cool.
Drum, like even just carp out of the bay is not easy.
Yeah.
You need to put time in.
Some people go out and do it, but generally I'd say you're going to have to do 3 or 4 trips.
You need to find
figure
happy
out
fish.
what you're looking for and how to identify the fish that are actually targetable.
So I don't know. I love doing that stuff. I'm really stoked that we got to do that. So
how about the rest of the summer? What it looked like? How would you characterize it? Because you did some travel of your own.
I did some travel on my own. I think we're going to talk about my Tour de West trip in another episode. I'm going to try and get Rich from Squala, my co-pilot. Well, my driver. I was passenger princess, but get him to call in, and we could tell some more tales from the road.
Some tales.
So, but yeah, it went quick. I even remember I was all over the place. So it went fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why I'm tired now. It's my excuse. So, I'm looking forward to fall. Me too. I like October, November. It's a little bit of slowdown back into a routine, and it feels like town slows down a little bit.
Definitely feels slowed down.
Get some fleece, get some chili.
Yep.
Tie some flies. Do some podcasts, that kind of thing. So
I'm sad that the brook trout water's closed, though.
I know.
I had so much fun doing that this summer.
That's a fun one.
Reconnecting with that.
So, well, I think we're going to wrap this one. I got to go write some more orders tonight and get back at it. Joe's got to, I'm sure, prep some lesson plans and stuff. And
yeah, totally. I'm definitely going to work later tonight. Hear that, boss?
Yeah.
I am definitely going to be working until 11 o'clock tonight.
Well, we always like hearing about unique fishing adventures. If you guys have some, chime in. We'd love to hear it. If you're watching on YouTube, leave us a comment. We appreciate you watching this far into the episode. Holy cow. If you're listening, thanks for listening. We appreciate you guys and the support. Like, it's so cool that people come in, and I know we're not as consistent as we'd like to be, but we get them done whenever we get a chance, and we enjoy doing these.
Yeah.
So it's good to be back, and thanks, Joe, for joining me.
Hey, no problem, Matt. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for supplying those peanut butter pretzels. So.
Yeah, no problem.
Keep you around for that Costco
road trip
membership.
fuel. I mean, that might have the value of that was probably
It was
worth
quite
it.
high.
It was pretty nice.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you soon.